G'day, I'm Blxz and welcome to my new LP of Gnomoria. So today I'm going to be starting a game of Gnomoria with a mod enabled. I have attempted to sort of fuse some of these mods together in the multiple mods, but that has not worked. Essentially Grand Arboretum and Esp mod are not compatible with each other without some serious modding on my own, and I'm not particularly keen on doing that just yet. Maybe for another future playthrough. But for this one we will be doing Espoir Economy mod, EspCon, and I will be building essentially a very large castle. I would like to do an above ground fort if at all possible. So to do that we're going to start off reasonably flat, reasonably wide hills and pretty smooth, but I'm not going to change that yet. We're also going to remove some of the underground things that spawn, beetles especially, because they can really slow down frame rate. And basically I just don't enjoy things spawning inside my fort. I want to have things attacking me from the outside and me defending against them. And the golems will just be things that are formed from unstockpiled items. From this we are going to need a name. That's Highness Blindness. No, it's terrible. Quillthroat. Okay, let's go Quillthroat. Let's see what happens. I will leave metal and everything on normal, and I will pause this recording while the map generates. I will see you shortly. And welcome back. Just be happy you guys didn't have to sit through that. That was a long wait. Anyway, here we are. This is our map. It is remarkably flat. I didn't quite think it would be this flat. But this is what I've got, and I'm not waiting through another map generation like that. So let's get started. To begin with, what we're going to do is a little thing, like a setup designed by an LPer named Avak, a British dude who does some spectacular Gnomoria LPs, and I will throw a link in the description. So essentially these sort of separated, segregated builds are great for a larger fortress, but they're probably a little bit too separated for early on in the piece. So what we're going to do is essentially do a what they call a Provisioner and Pioneer build. So the Pioneers essentially are going to be our kind of labourers, in a sense. They're going to be doing the stonework, the woodwork, metal, gem. What do I want them to do? Let's leave that off for now. They can do all sort of engineering work, all doctoring, and everyone is going to be doing hauling and construction. Just leave it as default for their uniform. So the next one is going to be the Provisioner. Now Provisioners are going to be doing all cloth work, ranching work. They can do miscellaneous craft as well, agriculture, doctor, and this bottom one down here, so hauling and construction. And they're actually going to do agriculture as their #1 priority, pasturing is going to be their 2nd priority, farming will be their 3rd one, and workshop will be the one they do after that, and everything else comes down lower. Now didn't I just make Pioneer? Okay, that's interesting. Now I'm going to create a new one. Yep, Pioneer is still there, and we're going to make it a Provisioner again for some reason. I mean the Pioneer again for some reason, because the game is a little bit weird like that. Probably because I can click new the first time. Either way, these guys are going to be doing stone, wood, metal, gem, engineer, what did I say, doctor, and miscellaneous. While I'm here I may as well play with this. Definitely want them to be doing mining as their #1 priority. It doesn't go up any higher. Agriculture will be 2nd. And I want them to do, I suppose, their workshop stuff would be 3rd. So that way any building and other stuff comes later if they're idle. Now that should be it. These guys can be provisioners, farmers are all going to be provisioners. The miners are not, because I've had a bug before where they've dropped their things and decided not to do anything. So I'll make them pioneers later. The ranch is going to be provisioner and you're going to be pioneers. I will risk it, we'll see what happens. Put them as pioneers so they can do everything. Okay. It's looking good. Oh, there's another little bug where that'll stay up for a long time. Next up we're going to get the military sorted. Now we're going to remove the plate mail one. We're going to have a new one that's going to be called militia. And they're going to have nothing equipped. Now the militia position will be using the perk Way of the Gnome and be using the militia uniform. So essentially it works across this way until you build a squad out of different formation, or your squad has the people and set up with a formation. Formations use a variety of different positions in them, so you can have up to 5 separate positions, and positions are drawn from a uniform mixed with a perk and a few different things here. So you sort of build them up and it can get quite creative later on. Now Way of the Gnome increases their attack speed, attack damage, dodge chance and dodge rate when they've got no armor or weapon. So when these guys have nothing, they should be, at least early on, absolute tanks. They can retreat if bleeding. They are going to retreat to equip their uniform, so they'll go back and drop their stuff. And so they'll assist their squad leader. Now formations, their perk is going to be keep your eyes open. And let's try this again. It's going to be the militia formation. Perk will be keep your eyes open. Their leader will be militia. Everyone's going to be a militia uniform, militia position, and they will defend the gnomes. Now the squads, that's weird. Breeding tours, no. Touching scars of viper, the mellow ruins. Yeah, okay, let's have that. They're nice and mellow. So it'll be militia, and I'm going to put these people in. Let's Didymus. I've never liked that name, Didymus. If anyone knows... Actually, I won't go into that. That's probably not family friendly. That's one squad. Let's go a second. False spoons, that'll do. You're also going to be militia, and you're going to be the remaining 4 people. There we go, Gimbal. If anyone wants to have their name put in here, feel free to drop a comment and I will throw you in. But other than that, I don't tend to rename them normally. Too much effort. Okay, to begin with, I would like to build some stairs down. So let's throw one there. Oh, we get 7 down, let's go one more. There you go. Mine out the little gap in between them. Now that should work. They'll go out and they'll do their thing. The rest of them, I would like to begin walling off the fort. So, well, first of all, actually, I'm going to need to get a farm set up. So let's do a little. Let's go 7 by 7. I'm not going to have that many wheat seeds just yet, but that'll do. And I'll need a pasture as well for my yaks. That's big. That's more than big enough. Doesn't need to be quite this big at all, but that'll do for now. Yeah, let's leave that. I'll figure that out as I go along. So we've got a good little setup here. They should drag the yaks over. They should do that. I would like to get as well some foraging being done to clear out this sort of area of things that go on the ground, and I'm going to get my woodcutters to let's get you guys cutting down some pine trees to begin with. Okay, now let's unpause and see how this goes. after the, of course, the obligatory autosave, day one autosave, and we'll see how we go from here. So unpause again. Space doesn't work. And why they do that, I don't know. I suppose because of the uniform. But I do find that annoying, how the miners drop their things. I'll have to make a special mining uniform later on. Maybe take them out of the militia and see what happens. But let's have a look what we've got down here. Stone. And what do we got? Is this? Basalt. Basalt's my favourite. It's a good, solid, beautiful colour. Ooh, not going to go there. It's a good, solid, beautiful colour. That's more than enough stone to keep me going for a long time. You are a woodcutter. So the woodcutter appears to have picked up the pick, and one of these will be a miner. That's unfortunate. Doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter too much early on whether you have different people doing the wrong jobs. They'll all level up. A bit of cross training never hurt anyone. But we have got here some metal. This might be a good vein that goes in, or it might just be a tiny little bit. This early on, it's probably not much. But that's more than enough stone. Well and truly more than enough stone. So we're going to get a couple of crude workbenches set up. Let's go 1, 2, let's go 3, just so we can get people working if there's any idlers to pick up the slack. And no one's going to build those until they've finished everything else, because it is the lowest priority. Doing seeds. Doing some chopping. I'd also like to get some beds put down. Let's go. Ooh, some nice new stuff here with the mod. Plain flag, plain flag. Why is that doubled up? Rod and a bolt of cloth. Let's have a look again. Rod and a bolt of cloth, and I assume the last one is going to be like that as well. Rod and a bolt of cloth. Yep, so I have a small problem with the mod already. That doesn't matter. Everything else appears to be... Yeah, the mod seems to have doubled up for some reason. I think I know how to fix that, and I will be able to jump on that shortly and get rid of it. In the meantime, we were doing some furniture, which is not something that I can see. Here we go. Straw beds. I'm going to get, say, 2, 3, 4, let's go 5 of those. It's probably too much, but I'd like to have enough of them able to sleep. And we'll put a dormitory once they finish building. And a rush. Here we go, that's going to be our little dormitory. Okay, they're all wandering around and not doing very much. So next up we're going to prepare our wall, and rather than do a dirt wall like a lot of people tend to do, I'm going to step it up a little bit and put a wooden wall down, a log wall. Actually I should probably designate it so it's all the same colour. So you're going to be a log wall, and you're going to build it out of pine, because we've got a couple of applewood which are a different colour. Now I don't want to be too big early on. It's possible to build a huge wall right around, and that's sort of the final size I want to do, but I prefer to start small and we can expand outwards as we need to. So to that end, I'm going to do, let's say, from here, that's probably more than enough. It is huge already, it's well and truly more than enough. Let's go down to, say, here, and bring you up. I won't worry about those trees, I'll just come straight down here. There we go. So that's where we're going to set up our beginning. I'd like the entrance to actually be down here, so we'll set up a little entrance, and I'll work on make that looking nice later on. But in the meantime, let's continue. So So with these guys here, we're going to get the planks. I'd like you to build, we'll stick with pine for the time being. I'll just cut down all these pine forests. You're going to craft to, let's say to 10. That should be enough. I'm also going to get you to craft pine planks until you've got 10. So I can have 2 people crafting at the same time. Now here I'm going to make a chisel, a workbench and a chair. I'm probably going to need a couple of these. So I'll throw, let's go 3. I think that's all I'm going to need. I'll probably need 2 chisels as well. Now this one is going to be a higher priority. So as soon as they've got enough planks, they'll ditch that and jump onto here and get that done. But that won't be happening until the logs are all cut down. So there you go, there's 2 people not doing anything. Probably the miners. So the miners will be good with stonework, but they won't be particularly good with woodwork. Except that one of them may well be the woodcutter. He'll be very good. Now these other guys are building, which is fine. What I'm going to have to do is get trees felled in between here. Yeah, no trees at all, that's good. But there are some things to forage, so I'll get rid of them. There we go. Now those can all be taken care of, and then we'll have a beautiful wall to go around our fort with a little entrance here. I don't like walling myself completely off, and I have got goblin tunnelers turned on, so if I do wall myself off, they'll just be able to break through, which is probably a little more realistic. Now I'm going to need a lot more pine, so I'll actually cut down all this pine, and probably a lot more besides that. Pine's not the best building material in real life, but in the game it doesn't matter too much. They've all got the same strength, I believe. For people who are not doing anything, I'm going to set up, once they're building, I'm going to set up some stockpiles. Let's have a stone stockpile here. Now these are all going to be temporary. I'm not going to have I'm not going to have stuff just lying around scattered everywhere, but early on that's how it's going to be. And I'm going to have no bedroom for a while until I start to build the fort up a little bit, get my workshops ready. I'm going to need another stockpile for, let's get wood here. It's all wood stuff. Actually, I just want it to be logs. So all logs will be put here. Which means I will need to change this as well. It's going to be only raw stone is going to be brought up here. So it's wood and stone there. Food, I'm going to need a food stockpile at some point, but I haven't got onto that just yet. So they're all sleeping at the same time. Gradually they'll all start to differentiate out, spread out a little bit, but for now we've got a little bit of a quiet period. I'm actually going to make a little stockpile for tools as well. Weapons and armor can go here. Don't worry about treasure. Let's put all tools here as well. Again, these guys aren't going to be stockpiling or doing anything until they've finished every other job, and building is also a pretty higher priority, so they probably won't get onto that for quite some time. Doesn't bother me too much. That's weird. A little bit of bugginess going on here. This is an odd game sometimes. There we go. Seems like two of them were fighting over the job, maybe over the same material or something, but they seem to have fixed it now. Good stuff. So we have ourselves one workbench and some chairs. So let's start with our stone cutter. Oh, I don't have a workbench. Why don't I have a workbench? Oh, gotcha. That's a crude workbench. Alrighty. I probably shouldn't have done that. It's going to keep making chairs by the looks of things. But it doesn't matter. They're onto the workbench now. So in that case, I'll need a stone cutter, a chisel, a chair, and a workbench which is being built. And I'll put you here. Now I have turned off all automatic generation of tasks. I don't particularly like it. So no auto tasks have been generated to fill that workbench. So when they eventually have it, they'll go up and build it. It does mean I need to keep a bit of an eye on it and micromanage things a little bit more, but it keeps things a lot cleaner, which helps with my organisation. Otherwise I find I'm going to be all over the place and not know what's going on. So while that's happening, I'm actually going to... I know I shouldn't be putting on too many more jobs, but I would like to forage everything inside the boundary. Let's do that as well. Everything inside the boundary here. Just so I can clean everything up off the ground. I've got no worries about building. I'll cut these trees down at a later date as well. Yeah, I'll probably get rid of those at some point as well. We're also going to do a farm up here. At the moment I don't think I need things like strawberries and whatnot just yet, because there's a lot more to harvest and there's more than enough fruit on trees, and I haven't stockpiled anything. What I will do, however, is make a cotton farm and get them on that at some point. Nope, still doing pine chairs. Workbenches are going to come after. Okay, looks like my woodcutters are nearly through it all. And all the gaps are nearly done. Nearly there. So next up, let's work on getting the rest of this log wall tidied up. I've got more than enough pine logs to keep me going. So that's that one done. Nothing's going to come from behind us now. And this side is almost done. Let me just get the fell tree and get that one as well. The harvest command must have overridden it. Here we go. It'll be cut down. And we'll get our log wall set up. Beautiful. Oh, I missed that one as well. What was it? Agriculture, fell trees. There you go. Clear those out. Now I'll have to get a little grove set up somewhere to start growing these things. I normally quite like building with birch because I like the colour of birch. It's a lighter wood. There isn't a whole lot of birch on this map though. There's this little stand over here. And a little stand down there. That's actually not very much. So what I'll do is... So where we go, cut clipping. I will get... Let's get that many to start with. I don't know how many that's going to be. But I will set up a little bit over here. I'm also going to replace the... How much dirt do I have? A little bit. how about let's start getting a little bit of dirt as well. It's more than enough dirt. What I'm going to do is start replacing the floor with dirt clumps. So this here is clay. Clay can be useful for a variety of different things, mostly for bricks and stuff like that. But you can't grow stuff on it and you can't graze animals on it. So I'm going to be turning it into dirt, which will then grow grass on it. It'll also allow me to harvest the clay. Dirt is far less valuable than clay. But in the sense of farming, dirt's very valuable. And having a good, solid, open area will be very useful for me. That looks like everywhere inside, so someone will get to it and build it at some point. Once they finish their sleeping anyway. For now anyway, this episode is sort of edging towards 30 minutes. I don't like to make them go too long. So I am going to cut this off here, and I will be back actually next episode. Next episode will resume when the walls are completed. So make sure to like and subscribe. This is the first episode of the new series. So likes help tremendously with getting the visibility of the channel out there. If you make sure to like and actually subscribe if you do enjoy the content. And I'll hope to make a hell of a lot more for you guys in the future. So I've been Blxz, this has been Gnomoria. Thanks very much, and I will see you next time.